Hello, and welcome my Aquarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, Mark Angela Lyons. Mal, for short, they're just my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, 25 years in service. At the time of this recording, I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. There's a Kindle version available. If you like, click the link. You can check the table of contents and see contents, maybe that too, contents, and see it's in chakra chapters. There are chakras in this read, but that's the Kindle version. Very clean, very pristine, very IKEA compared to the original version, the PDF that I have over on Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circle. Some of my subscribers, my patrons, have access to the original version, the visual Fellini Film Fest of a feast of chakra spectrum colors. It's a lot going on in that book, and I love it. All of my subscribers, regardless of level of subscription, however, get 3 benefits in common. Number 1, they get a daily check-in with me pretty much every single morning when I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link, so they can literally chat with me about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, new moon, full moon, Sabbats, all of that. Always ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something to send us on our way. The best way for me to start the day, considering what I do for my work, career, and vocation. They also get a benefit number 2, all the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s. They're all relationship, soul contract based stuff. They're all juggernauts. They're all really detailed. I am a Virgo, so they get all of those past, present, and future as long as they are subscribers. The 3rd benefit they get is an extensive discount on private sessions, spiritual counseling, as well as readings with me. We'll talk about it at the end of this video, because there is a video that explains it all, as well as it's on my website. But honestly, Patreon, I love it. It's the best thing. We now have 7-day free trials. They keep giving us cool stuff, right? You can check us out as a seeker or a human for 7 days free. If you want to stay, great. You want to go? I'm cool, because I am here to serve, and particularly if I can help anybody with their work, career, vocation, I am certainly glad to. So click the link, check it out, try us out for a week. You can always change your subscription level at any time that you like. So what I'm saying is, if you feel so drawn, come Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angela Lyons. But you can just call me Mal. I love that the new music starts with that lion roar. That's Janet Grace. I've said in other videos in this series, it's like I would love for all of them to start that way, but I said no, until I spoke to Janet yesterday, and she's like, absolutely, we're doing it on all the new ones. I'm like, okay. Wishes do come true, I suppose. So let's get down to business, shall we? Feeling really good. Did a lovely meditation right before this reading, so I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's do some explanation for the new aquariums and cross-watchers, and then we will jump into the divination. If you want to jump ahead, go ahead, though the readings do change every single series. So yeah, this one is 10 cards, so let's 11 cards, so let's get into it. If you are new to the channel, this is really what's called the 3 levels of power reading, as I learned from Caroline Myss, MYSS. She's a PhD. These are her archetype cards. We're going to get 3 of them. There's a link in the description box to a video of Caroline talking about the 3 levels of power: the literal, the personal, and the symbolic, a way of taking really large things like life purpose in the case of this reading and breaking it down into 3 parts. Like I said, there are chakras involved. The 8 chakra system that I'm using for this reading is from Caroline Myss's Anatomy of the Spirit. We're using her archetypes, which is connected to Sacred Contracts, her book. Amazing, life-changing work for me. And I've been doing work, career, vocation reads for a very long time. I learned about the 3 levels of power, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I've been helping people around the world really seriously fulfill their life purpose, but by seeing it in a more holographic way, spread out over 3 levels of power. I love these reads. Let's talk about it. There are 11 cards. You're going to get 3 Caroline Myss archetypes for the 8th chakra dynamic. The alchemy from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love, poverty to prosperity, restriction to freedom, however you want to see that. So you'll get one of those. This is third level of power dominant, though. So this really has to do with how your vocation, we'll talk about it, clicks in. Then we'll get underneath those with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Heart, Third Eye Crown, Goddess deck, internal feminine energy, goddess energy. A second level of power dominant, because it's your creative intuition, which is Heart, Third Eye Crown. We'll get 3 of those across the board, all 3 levels. Then we will look at the physical world with the Mythic Tarot, the lower 3 chakras, how you manage power, how you navigate through the physical world, looking outside at yourself, or from the inside looking out at people, places, things, including corporations and industries. This is the money read. So the whole idea is to bring the chakras into alignment, learn the lessons we're here to learn. They can be delayed but not prevented, our learning. So, that's the gig of this. So that's 9 cards. Look, I'm doing math. 1 Whisper from Lord Ganesha, Whispers of Lord Ganesha by Angela Hartfield, to help remove the atoms, the 3 symbolic atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table of elements. That's what these cards are about, the Caroline Mace, to set that up, because that sends down all the codes to all the other chakras, so you attract and repel, so that you have the opportunity, the free will, to no longer delay what can't be prevented, alchemically speaking. And then, of course, heads up, cross watchers, we've got a Matt Kahn healing mantra as our last card down, card number 11. I know them all. I've had the deck since it was published in 2018. Bought it off Matt Kahn's website. I adore him. He is a genius. I highly recommend his channel, his books. He's wonderful. So if you're a cross-watcher, you have the opportunity to help the Aquarian you are cross-watching for fulfill their life purpose through work, career, and vocation. A happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser version of them. And as each and every one of us does this, comes a little bit further on the hero's journey, right? What are we here to do? Just finding that out is part of the journey. Then we all move forward. As I learned from the Ishaya monks when I first started working with the energies of Ganesh, for sure, they said that it's all an upward spiral. It's not a cycle. Things look cyclic, but it's not. It's a spiral. There's no backwards. They say there's no backwards, right? We're always moving forward. So that's the purpose. But how we play that out in our literal world, our personal world, and the symbolic world, how we see all of this from a spiritual perspective, obviously that's going to help, right? So I think that's enough explanation. Let's get into the divination. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the very best that I can to help anybody fulfill their life purpose, a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser version of themselves, because that's just going to make a happier, healthier, wealthier world for our loved ones, right? So we can all prosper from a place of unity rather than the illusion of separation. And you're Aquarians, you know all about that stuff, or on some level somewhere you do. So let's do this. The shift from that explanation, which I'm glad to do every time. It's fine. I'm a teacher. I'm used to it. And I have fun with it. I hope you do too. To the divination, which I'm born to do. That shift happens in the still point. Let's go there. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Aquarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and crosswatchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading, please, beloved ones, 3 Caroline Mace archetype cards representing the soul patterns being alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, the soul powers, right? Removing those 3 obstacles in their work, career, vocation, therefore removing obstacles in their life purpose. Let's do this. Work, career, vocation. What's in the 8th chakra? Hovering over the head of the Aquarians and the crosswatchers in their work. What's the archetype in the 8th chakra hovering over them in their career? What's happening over their heads? And this is the 8th chakra, dominant level of power. visionary intuition, their spiritual mystical power. What's going on? Up in that 8th chakra over the heads like a satellite for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers in this timeless work, career, and vocation read. Oh, yeah, there's nothing in here that would make somebody not want to watch it. All archetypes are neutral. That's why I say that. So as horrible as it sounds, as wonderful as it is, and as wonderful as it sounds, as horrible as it is, that's the lead to gold spectrum. So you're the Mediator, Hermit, Samaritan. Jeez, do I know Aquarians like this? Big time. So we have a wisdom family archetype, and a divine family archetype of the 9 different families here. So let's get into this. Written on the card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute. The lead, the gold, the alchemy. Moving that way, hopefully, is what this is about. So the lead of the Mediator, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Now, the truth is you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And by reason, I mean it comes and goes in a day. But you could also be dealing with somebody who has the archetype, right? It's still your alchemical lesson to learn, right? To do the alchemy on your end of it. The gold, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Now, Aquarians are usually good at that. They're considered what's called egalitarian, humanitarian, right? Link Pangs, hands across America, we are the world, we are the children, right? But the shadow side of that is putting your thumb on the scale, right? It's about your integrity. So this is about your spiritual, mystical power, your ability for visionary intuition in terms of your vocation, your life calling, to be fair, right? To see all sides of it, to understand that we are all one, but we don't live that way because we're hurt and we forgot, and we forgot because we're hurt. That's a huge oversimplification. Let's move on to the Hermit, one of my personal favorites. Oh my goddess, the lead of the Hermit withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. I mean, just people wearing white pants after Labor Day. It's a struggle. It's a thing. It makes no sense to me. Whew, right? But the gold. I'm kidding. Sort of. Fashion has changed. No, it hasn't. Serial mom. Light attribute, the gold, seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. Now, if this was my read, I have no planets in Aquarius. Absolutely, this would make total sense in my career, because for me to do what I gotta do, I'm a Pisces moon. I could empath anyone, anywhere, anytime, usually having no idea that I'm doing so, right? So to take that time to recharge my batteries, it's necessary. So I take disco naps, right? That's not necessarily a hermit term. You crabs, they're hermit crabs. But certainly I love my hermit archetype. I'm a Virgo. Virgo power, cross your legs, leave me alone, I'm working. Speaking of work, the Samaritan, now look, scriptural, right? It's someone from Samara, like an appointment in Samara, as the Good Samaritan. Obviously, the Good Samaritan, right? The shadow, the lead Samaritan, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. I've worked with people like that. Yes, I'd like to make an anonymous donation, but I want a plaque, right? And with my name on it. It's like, what? Right? Well, they'll hold it over your head. It's horrible. The bad Samaritan, the Good Samaritan, the Gold Samaritan refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Honey, what I do every day, I got a lot of tinfoil hat woo-woo land stuff, just zoom and pass. Just bob it and weave it and try to miss some of that stuff, right? So, things I would prefer to ignore. But that's where the empathy comes in, right? Particularly in the physical world, right? So you've got the Mediator in your spiritual, mystical, the Hermit in your mental, emotional, and your Samaritan in the Samaritan in your physical. That's pretty cool. A Mediator, Hermit, Samaritan. You can do it from home. Sounds like a game. All right, can you monetize that? All right. Well, that would be exacting, right? It would be the leaded Samaritan right there. Doesn't mean you can't get paid for what you do, though. So let's get those next 4 chakras down. Again, we're going to lay them down. Work, career, vocation. We read them career, vocation, career, work, because we want to lay them down from the root chakra vibe up and then read them from the 8th chakra vibe down. Here we go. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Goddess. Override. As I call upon my beloved goddesses of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the East, please, beloved goddesses of fixed air, 3 cards face down for the Capricorn, for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, I caught it, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video, drawn to this reading in their work, they got the Samaritan in the 8th chakra, right? Their work life, how they survive in the world, what's going on, heart, third eye, crown, Hermit in their career, which feels just really yummy for me, but that could just be me. I love being a hermit, a social hermit. Nope. Please. Beloved ones. Oh, heart, third eye, crown, dominant level of power, creative intuition. Yeah, that's the one. And in their vocation, the Mediator, what's going on, heart, third eye, crown, there, internally internal, in this timeless work, career, vocation reading. Well, there you have it. Okay. So we've got we've got a major arcana, we've got a minor arcana, and we've got a court card here, and 2 of them are directly connected. So in your vocation, the Mediator, with the court card of Sagittarius, Ceridwen, Caridwen, I've heard it said a bunch of different ways. Sagittarius, mutable fire, goddess of the cauldron, transformation. When it's a court card, inside, it's usually not about somebody else, right? On the outside, it could be, we'll see when we get the mythic tarot on the table. So if you have any planets in Sagittarius, or even look at what house placement Sagittarius is in, depending on your rising, that could be a very, very powerful alignment here. Definitely throat chakra. To me, that's the element of fire, particularly with the idea of an archer. A Jupiterian, a Jupiter-ruled archer, usually a centaur, a centaur, depending on which pronunciation you prefer. So think of a quiver of flaming arrows. Well, maybe not all together in the quiver. I don't know how that would work. You'd like, I don't know, fireproof quivers. Good name for a band or a drag queen, I think. Absolutely, a lot of desires, a lot of choices, a lot of things to chew on, and maybe changing, because it is mutable fire, constantly shifting like a wildfire. She kept calling wildfire. So a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. If we see this as a throat chakra vibe, the changing, chewing, of spit, swallow, and chew, throat chakra is willpower, your choices and your decisions. Every choice has a consequence. We breathe out choice, we breathe in consequence. It's just how it works, all being one thing. But certainly you probably have some decisions to make here, a lot to chew on, particularly trying to know, is it honor, respect for both sides of an argument, because that's hard. That takes spiritual power. And the Mediator, to say, I can be essentially a force of fairness in a situation, but from a spiritual perspective, here you have your major arcana card. This might be your leverage. Usually one level of power shows itself a little bit as start here, and it'll balance the others out. Major arcana of the Hanged Man, reversal. What I love about Daughters of the Moon is the reinterpretation. That's why I really read the art more than just, what I know about the card. A woman voluntarily hanging herself upside down from a tree over a river. The face above water is like, the face below water, though, is radiant and smiling. if it's a major arcana card in a reading like this, it's the whole chakric zone. So heart, third eye crown, this is about, well, the word written on it is reversal, looking at things differently. That's why you can go to Odin and hanging upside down on Yggdrasil for, 9 days, plucked out his eye, gave it to the Norns for the runes and other cash and prizes. So there is a sacrifice here. There is a letting go, but it may very well be a surrendering of a point of view, a belief system, because you're an air sign, possibly. And with that mediator, surrender, all right, I surrender, Dorothy, right? I'm willing to see this differently. Is actually, it says in Course in Miracles, and both student and teacher of it did the workbook twice. Okay, I'm pretty solid with ACIMEIEIO. It says the true prayer for a miracle is help me see this differently. Right? That is, but the ego's like, no! They're assholes, right? No, I don't want to go out in the world. They suck. Well, but now I know DoorDash is a thing. We can digital bank and work from home. I do work from home, so I get it. But what a perfect opportunity, though, as a hermit, to say, all right, no one's watching. I surrender and see what happens, right? Well, because that's the thing. You can't. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantee that your sacrifice or surrender will get you what you want, but it'll always get you what you need. Always. That's the law. All right, ready? This makes sense. Samaritan in the 8th. 3 of flames, 3 of wands, loyalty written on the card. Very third chakra. Very chew. Well, 3s are stable, right? Like tripods, like my camera's on a tripod, right? It doesn't wobble. So loyalty about you really what you're willing to wait for, what you're not willing to wait for. You may very well be chewing on that. Because I don't know that that's a swallow. It's like, well, no, it's right here. It's right here. So maybe something stuck in your craw, but I know for loyalty, what we're often looking at here is what we choose to be our priorities, right? What are we willing to wait for? Now, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Yeah, well, I don't really want to deal with them, right? Don't really want to do this. Don't really want to do this. But I can't ignore this. I can ignore this, but that is my choice to do so. So I need to pull back and, you see, into the Hermit. I need to go into that and see this differently. And then I'll have all of these different choices and decisions that I may not see in the physical part of this, because there is a fair way of doing this. Isn't that lovely? That's a good read so far. Oh, let's see what's going on the outer. I mean, I'm always interested to see what happens, but when it clicks like that, it's fun. Fun for me. Who are you trying to ignore? All right, so let's get them lower 3 chakras on the table with the mythic tarot, the masculine energy, outside in, inside out, blah, blah, blah. Please take a nice deep breath. I'm the fun one. That's why they let me get away with so much. Still point. Oh, God's override. Oh yeah. As I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Aquarius, and powers of the east, please, beloved gods of fixed air. 3 cards face down in clarity. Work, career, vocation for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Suns, and cross-watchers who are watching this video. I'm drawn to this reading. In their work, they got the Samaritan, the 8th, loyalty, 3 of wands on the inner, 3 of flames on the inner, there's the lower 3. In their career, the Hermit with reversal, the hanged man, or I guess we could say the hanged person. Whoops, saw what that was. That looked good. And in their vocation, the Mediator, the Sagittarius card, Caridwen, goddess, a Celtic goddess of transformation. Her cauldron ain't to be toyed with. What's going on in their lower 3 chakras and their vocation in this timeless work, career, vocation read? Okay, so this might be somebody. Outside, you got a court card and 2 minor arcana. Mediator in the 8th. Caridwen, Caridwen, you do you. Location, 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 and the Queen of Pentacles, the Taurus card. Now, this person need not necessarily be a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever, but what we're looking at here is second house dynamic, life values, right? The things that are concrete, fertile earth. However, a square to your Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. So a fixed Earth on the outside. Now, if you have any planets in Taurus, and I actually know an Aquarius with a Taurus moon, incredibly stubborn but incredibly smart, so the idea of surrendering is will. But nobody needs to know you're doing it because you're a hermit, right? You save face. That certainly could be you saying, all right, what do I really value here? Do I really value fairness? Then I gotta be fair, right? And there's, in other words, there's a creative process in there with that Sagittarius. You have more than one way of doing this, but you may not see them all, hence moving us to your career. Hermit in the 8th, the Hanged Man reversal, 7 of Cups. Now look, 7 of Cups is a lovely card if you know how to handle it, because things may appear cloudy and emotional, and you might be dealing with lots of people here, each cup a different emotion sort of hanging in the air. Well, there's this, but there's that. So which one do you choose, right? Well, if that's what's going on, if things seem dreamy, cloudy, sometimes worst case scenarios can show up that way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're real. Feelings are not facts. They're energetic patterns that flow through us, that have biochemical components that have been passed down to us genetically since cave people. Location, Cro-Mags, and, all them other hunter-gatherers, all of that. Remember BC, the comic strip? That used to crack me up. Wizard of Id, too. Very witty title. Very, Sigmund Freud, please pick up the courtesy telephone. 7 of Cups with surrender of backing that up, that Hanged Man with the Hermit makes total sense. I think that's your leverage, because I think your survival, your lower 3 chakra intuition here, the one that I think if you're going to feel it the most is going to be in your vocation. You'll feel it earthy. You'll feel it in the body if that's you looking at yourself from the outside, because here is actually a lovely thing. So Samaritan, don't want to, rather ignore this, rather ignore this, right? You're like, all right, what am I going to do? I'm going to chew on this. A stable foundation, though. You already made the decision to deal with it in the 2, right? The 2, you chewed on it. Now it's like, yeah, but no, not quite ready, right? Not quite ready. There's still a contemplation, a chewing going on there. With the 6 of Swords, a mental journey from choppy water to smooth. Can be a counseling process, can be anything engaging the mind, air sign here, to find mental balance. Now, I think that balance is most likely reflective of the Mediator. And as I said, there is a fire connection here with vocation and work. And what's the bridge? The Hanged Man reversal. Seeing this differently, voluntarily turning yourself upside down to see things differently. And look at it this way, you probably don't have to pop out an eye and give it to 3 sisters that weave fate and destiny. Discount. Okay, we got our chakras on the table. I'm glad there's air here. You got air, you got fire, you got what? You got all 5 elements here: fire, earth, air, water, and spirit. So we're going to move this over a little bit. We're going to get our last 2 cards down. Remember, Whispers of Lord Ganesha. Had a relationship with Ganesha for over about 25 years, maybe a little bit longer. I mean, I knew who he was. Been working with the Ishaya monks, Ishaya. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I don't know where they are anymore. They used to have a central location. Now they went all over the world. But check them out. I do their 5-sphere meditation every day before readings. Usually for this one I just did the breath work, but I love Lord Ganesha, Hindu elephant-headed god of success and prosperity. I told you these are the money rings. And remover of obstacles, those 3 atoms in between lead and gold. Please take a nice deep breath. Make sure these are going the right way. I don't want to see them even though my eyes are closed. Breathe. Still point. Ganesh, please override. as I call upon the beloved Lord Ganesha, God of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, to please heed this prayer. One card in clarity. Beloved Lord Ganesha, what is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message to help the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers who are watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxic to healthy, their fear to love you, helping them remove those obstacles to fulfill their life purpose and their work, career, vocation as Mediator, Hermit, Samaritan in this timeless work, career, vocation read. Reflection. Reflections of the way life used to be. Literally, reflection in the water, Hermit. This is your leverage. I would say you do. Yeah. Card number 4, reflection. And look at me. I love him so much. I love him so much. He's never been anything but kind and fun. They like me because I'm fun. You really do get away with more when you have a little... You can't have hubris and goofy in the same energetic space. All right, here we go. Here we go. Reflection. Honor the wisdom within yourself. Come on. Ganesh is here to help you find the truth of who you are, the light of your own soul. Be willing to let it shine. You have reached the point in your life's journey where self-judgment and criticism no longer serve you. It is imperative that you understand and appreciate the distinctive persona that you bring into all situations. Stick a pin in it. Persona from the Greek mask, right? The personality. Got a certain Westonality. No, they ain't messing when they whip out the Wesson. Each of us has our own unique path. Through self-awareness and observation, you can see that everyone is working towards the same objective on their individual path, which ultimately leads to the same higher purpose. In other words, there is only one road home, but we're all on different quantum versions of it. You have made great progress on your spiritual path. It's now time to release the need to take responsibility for events and lives that are beyond your control. Superheroes of the Zodiac, well, you know, probably the Martian Manhunter, stuff like that. Kal-El. So hot. Appreciate silence. Oh, wait. Recognize the beauty of each of our paths and bless the journey of others. And sometimes that is the best strategy, right? Do it from the top of the mountain looking down. Aquarius, high stratosphere, right? Send it down from the Justice League satellite. Appreciate silence and allow your inner light to shine out towards others as a means of communication. Really, you don't even gotta talk, Hermit. Hermit and his hermits. Are you Henry VIII? You are. Henry VIII, you are. You are. Through reflection and visualization, get in touch with the wise person within you. Wow. That's great. I mean, particularly if things are cloudy in your career, right? To surrender it as the Hermit makes a lot of sense. There is a diplomatic way through this with the Six of Swords, with that Samaritan here. And you just need to take the time for reflection and then radiate. Just don't fade away. Then radiate. I'm just a Generation X culture reference generating machine, or at least my guides are. Carrie Fisher is up there. She's with me. Yeah, I'm with the band, though. Shall we? Back on Healing Mantra. I tell you, Goofy takes you a long way with the divine. Right? Just think of that. Pride goeth before the fall. Add a little Goofy. It doesn't go so badly. All right, the Healing Mantra. Crosswatchers, heads up. Here's the one that really you can implement this in your own energy field, which is going to help your interaction with them in their energy field and in your life as well. So let's talk to the Ascended Masters General Assembly, which feels like standing in the celestial United Nations, United Universes. So let's do this. Last card down. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Masters override. as I call upon the Ascended Masters of the General Assembly for the Aquarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading, beloved ones, please. What is the perfect healing mantra to help the Aquarians and the crosswatchers alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxic to healthy, their constrainment to freedom, their poverty to prosperity, their heaven to hell, their perdition to paradise, their womp womp to joy and creativity, their lead to gold. As the Mediator, Hermit, Samaritan contract they find themselves in, removing obstacles with reflection, the healing mantra that perhaps they take in there with the element of air, of thought, of mantra, to do all of this for them in this timeless work, career, and vocation reading. Acknowledging apprehension, you're chewing. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. If I'm unsure, it's always a no. And you got 7 chakras in the physical body that can answer that. Now, I will say, if the root chakra says no, leave. Right? Fight or flight. Yes, straight your second chakra. If it goes, don't do it. If it's not the right time, not the right place, the iron's not hot, you know what happens when you strike cold iron, right? You get the Bugs Bunny effect, right? That's no fun. Little reverb on that. Certainly, when it's a yes, I use this so often. Acknowledging apprehension, which I'm going to say happens in the solar plexus usually, right? We're like, what's going on? What's going on, right? And it's okay that we don't know up here, but we have to acknowledge we're feeling something for it to come into our awareness. And I think the surrender part of it, apprehensive about a 7 of Cups, yeah, absolutely. Really, interpretive dance has been such a creative mode for me. Apparently I forget the alphabetical order, though. Acknowledging apprehension. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. If I'm unsure, it's always a no. I always say for now, right? Sometimes I need a nap. We all do. When apprehension is acknowledged, you become aware of a constant back and forth between polarities. As this back and forth movement occurs, it can feel nearly impossible to make decisive, empowering choices, throat chakra. As you acknowledge any apprehension, recognize that it's either, okay, here are the 2 polarities, it's either your heart trying to warn you of an old choice or pattern you're about to repeat, oh no, here we are again, right, that, or it's a sense of unworthiness that makes you unsure about how to step onto the biggest stage you dream of commanding. And honestly, I can see that in your career, taking that hermit time to be like, I don't know. See, that's the thing. We never got gold stars and high grades for not knowing. But if we know that we don't know and we don't, then we can be willing to be shown. That's called the grace of humility. It is the first and last grace in my book, because the last grace in the book is about the saving grace. And humility is my saving grace. I get away with a lot because I don't know. You show me. It's like the Fool card every day, over and over and over. Continuing. The power of discernment bubbles closer to the discernment, solar plexus. The power of discernment bubbles closer to the surface the more often your apprehensions are acknowledged, and it's needed to determine which of these 2 options is true. So what we tend to do is feel apprehensive, and we usually do the same thing over and over and over again. Bolt, right, or stoop, right? This is acknowledging it. It's different, acknowledging apprehension. This mantra is ideal for resolving indecisiveness. The 7 of Cups, that would make sense. Balancing impulsive behaviors. Now that balance and that Mediator is in there, so the impulsive thing, right, instead of just, right? And trusting your instincts, which again, those lower 3 chakras, but the voice of instinct really is root chakra. You're dealing with a lot of people and it doesn't feel right, get out. My mom calls it in me, I've always had it, rat magic. The rat always knows when to jump ship, right? I used to leave parties in college right before the fight broke out or the cops showed up or whatever, to eventually my friends were like, when Mal leaves, it's time to go, right? So I've always had that, but I'm an earth sign, I'm a Virgo. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I don't know why. I would always hear about it the next morning, go, right after you left, right? So trust that. It's a superpower. Look, we all have them, right? Chakra powers, if you want to call them that, right? Sounds like a new Netflix series, the Chakra powers. They already have that covered in the DCU, I'm pretty sure. Look, you have the opportunity here just simply by reflection to take some steps forward in manifesting your work, career, vocation to be the happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser version of yourself in the quantum timeline. Shoot for the golden timeline is what I'm doing. Just acknowledge apprehension. So, let's wrap this up with a blessimation, a blessing, and a summation. After that, technically, it's the end of the reading, though I do often refer to the cards after that as I am inspired. But we are going to talk about reading, spiritual counseling, Patreon, and all that as I release you all from my energy field. Because I have Pisces to do after this, and I'm a Pisces moon, so that might take a little extra prep time, shall we? Speaking of Pisces, my whole life is divination, apparently. So, one last time, here we go. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. And we end as we began. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Aquarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need to fulfill their life purpose, alchemizing their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxic to healthy, their fear to love, their lead to gold, and their vocation, that they can embrace their gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in their personal and professional life with respect for both sides of the argument. By going spiritual on this, expanding Sagittarius, Jupiter, Jove, expansive, the great, beneficent, the mutable fire, the many choices that come to them, maybe as they stand their ground on their values, based on that, right? That they are able to be fair and come up with a strategy as a mediator, but spiritually so, with that Taurus energy, whether they're dealing with the Taurus, whether they have any planets in Taurus or not, it is fixed earth. They shall not be moved. And so that they fulfill their career here, seeking solitude as the Hermit, with an intent on inner life focus, serving their personal creativity through that very surrender that would need to see this from that higher place of the mediator in a Six of Cups situation, which can be very emotional, cloudy, chance of mystic meatballs, but certainly surrendering their point of view. No one needs to know they're doing it as the Hermit anyway, but certainly one of those cups might say, this one. And so that in their work, they refine their capacity to help those they would prefer to ignore, with their loyalty structure being chewed on here, what they're willing to wait for, what they're willing to not wait for, what they're willing to spit out, swallow, or chew. Making this diplomatic mediator, where'd you go? Oh, yeah. With that mediator in the 8th and the Hermit preparing them to take this journey from choppy water to smooth, with that Six of Swords, removing obstacles by reflection, right? Really going in, taking the time to let their light and their truth rise from within themselves. Maybe looking over things, looking at lessons, looking at patterns, but certainly taking reflection to help them manifest their happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest life they are capable of having, by acknowledging apprehension that they know this is their new rule, this is their new way. If it's a yes, nothing can stop them. Juggernauts that they are. But if it's a no, it's always a no, at least for now, while they chew, while they rise, while they align and reflect. bringing together their life purpose into more fulfillment, feeling more fulfilled in their work, career, vocation, being the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest Aquarians and cross-watchers that have ever been. But not the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest Aquarians and cross-watchers that will ever be, as they leave behind a legacy, fulfilling their life purpose for others to follow in their footsteps, for their well-being, for the well-being of all, for a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world. Covers everything. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So motivate. Roar! Thank you, Janet Grace, for the lion's roar. I guess we'll be hearing more of that. I would say see, but you can't see the roar unless they do it, right? Whatever. 10 points for Goofy. If you liked the reading, if you liked the music, hit the thumbs up. Janet Grace is going to be starting up her own YouTube channel and Patreon too. I'm helping her with that too. There's a lot of good stuff. I love her so much. And that's what happens when you collaborate. And it's right. And because you've been burnt before, right? You learn, you learn, you learn. You live, you learn. Alanis Moistolet. If you want to check me out on Patreon, please do. We've got those 2 7-day free trials for seekers and humans. If you want to check us out, bail the last day, I don't care. You'll get the daily check-ins, you'll get the extended readings, but you won't get the extensive discount because I am a businessman. I didn't stay in business all this time and just giving it away. Although sometimes I do. I'm doing it on YouTube, obviously. And Patreon's just wonderful. Seekers, humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, mystics, gods, goddesses is the top tier. I love it so much. I highly recommend it to anyone who has a creative art, a creative skill, a creative something that they want to bring to the world and garner support financially. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So click the link, become Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel of Lions, Markangelo Lions, that thou may knowest call now, my loves. I love my aquariums, my aqua lungs, so if you want to book me for one of them, they're private sessions. There is a link in the description box to a video that will explain it. It's called Booking a Reading with Mal. I say over and over and over again, I will never turn anybody away for spiritual counseling or from the spiritual counseling or a reading because lack of funds, because that's not who I am. That's never who I want to be. It makes me sick to my stomach. Talk about solar plexus, right? Nope. That's a no. It's also on my website if you would like to see it in writing, drawingthecircle.com. It's a store, I don't know, somewhere around here. Takes you to the store. Who would have thunk? And you can see a lot of digital products to purchase there, but you will also see reading packages and spiritual counseling. Explains everything, whether it's in person, if I travel, if it's Zoom recorded, all of it is on the website in writing, but the video is there. It's about 11 minutes. I enjoy it. Makes me laugh. My mom likes it, so we're keeping it. And I'm probably not going to change my prices for another 25 years, knowing me, because if I was doing this for the money, I wouldn't be doing it. But I'm very blessed in my work, career, vocation to have all 3 of those line up for a while now. Thank you, Caroline Mays. And thank you, Lord Ganesha, and thank you, Ascended Masters, and thank you, gods, goddesses, and the pantheons of the divine. Because my aquariums are special to me. I love them. I've always had an Aquarian friend some way, shape, or form in my life. So hang in there. May you be blessed. May you fulfill your life purpose. Shine your light at full capacity and acknowledge apprehension as you go, because you're not wrong just because you don't know. Yeah, work on that one. I love you. Hang in there. I believe this. You can do this. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.